Jim, Freelance Sports Podcast, kicking it with K Styles, aka the sixth man K Styles. You guys, if you haven't already, you are subscribed to either one of those channels. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Help us on our journey to 1K with six man K Styles. Please help us get that. That really means everything to not only myself but six man K Styles. Um, Most of you guys are probably and more than likely are subscribed to Feli Sports Podcast GSHM. If you haven't, head over to the YouTube channel as well as Instagram, Twitter account, and give us a follow. Um, but I got to get this off my chest. Um, this is one of the most disgusting and utterly disgusting uh, series that I've ever seen in my life. And it's becoming obvious that not only, the NBA has an obvious, um, they have an obvious bias against Trae Young. And I know there's a lot of people who are, members of the old school and how things, are perceived as whether it's they're tough, where they're considered to be cocky, arrogant, whatever the case may be. Um, I don't think it matters whether or not Trae Young is arrogant, whether he's cocky, or simply, overrated. In these cases, that's an issue for me. I think that's complete horseshit. Because there's one thing for you to be a great player and get the necessary respect not only from your peers, but we got guys like, and I'm gonna call out these guys. I have to. I don't think there's cause for a case. This is probably the biggest case that I'm going to call for a player in quite some time. And this is something that I don't necessarily do as far as basketball is concerned, but this guy deserves this respect. Trae Young. Trae Young. I've never seen a player that has been utterly disrespected like this young man. And we're talking about a NBA where they want guys to become superstars. They want to sell the product. They want you to score 30 points a game. They want you to have 30 points, 6 assists, and 16 assists, 30 points. They want you to put up the double doubles. They want you to put up these triple doubles. They want you to put up big time numbers so they can sell you as a part of the NBA. But what I don't get is the utter disrespect that this young man gets. Why? Because you just don't like him. What I've seen these first two games in Miami, and I'm gonna be honest, the Hawks definitely did not play well at all. Okay, make no mistake about it. They did not play well at all. The first game was an absolute atrocity as far as the players is concerned. They didn't shoot well. These guys did not defend well in most cases. But one thing that the reason why I'm calling this out is because what I've seen from the refs, it's pure horseshit. Okay, let's just keep it real. Complete horseshit. Um, it's complete horseshit. What's good, people? It's complete horseshit, and I think this is probably one of the most disgusting playoffs that I've ever seen in my life. It goes back to the Golden State Warriors, um, where you had LeBron versus, Golden State. Draymond Green obviously is getting targeted the entire game in order to make sure the king himself, um, has the upper hand. He baited Draymond Green. He literally got in front of the man, tripped him up, and all this type of stuff. And this dude ended up getting suspended for something that LeBron and the refs were obviously doing when we talk about making sure that they reach their agenda to make sure that LeBron gets what he wants. The NBA gives LeBron even more of incentive to become quote unquote the GOAT. To add to that idea that he is the GOAT, and I'm not going to get in whether or not he is or isn't. But there was a clear agenda then. And one of the reasons why I say this is why I'm getting is it was a quote. I made a short earlier where we saw this dude literally, and I'm talking about not only Kyle Lowry, but most of the Heat team were absolutely hacking, smacking, tripping these guys up. Almost had a horrendous injury when it came down to Kyle Lowry. Like, the dude is literally targeting Trae's knee, drops on the fucking ground in the first game. He drops on the ground, dives at Trae Young's knee, and immediately, he knew exactly what he did. He immediately looked at Trae to see if Trae was hurt. And guess what happens? Absolutely nothing. Nothing happened. So, fast forward to game 2, we have 4 Hawks, 4 players. 4 of these guys were I'm talking about 4 of these guys were in foul trouble with 3. Okay? You have 4 guys with 3 fouls in one half of a fucking game. Now, I'm not the brightest guy, but if one team has 4 guys with 3 fouls in the first 2 quarters, where the first quarter was barely, where the second quarter was barely over, and then you have TFC come in, and not even 3 minutes. The dude is barely in the game for 3 minutes, and he picks up 2 quick fouls. Now, again, the discrepancy of the free throw. You had a team, they shot, 34 free throws to the Hawks 14. 34 free throws to the Hawks 14. Again, 34 free throws to the Hawks 14. And we're talking about whether or not the NBA is fair. And this is one of the main reasons why, me personally, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, outside of the Atlanta Hawks, I have no reason to watch this shit. This is probably one of the most disgusting, like I said, it's probably one of the most disgusting series I've ever had. And you talking about Trae Young, and I'm going to just come out and say it. A lot of you motherfuckers don't like Trae because he's 5'10". He's not 6 feet. I don't care what nobody say. With those tennis shoes on, he may be 6 feet. But that dude is 5'10", 165 pounds. He's not 180. Okay? I refuse to believe that. But this dude is 5'10", and he putting up damn near 30 points every game. He led the league in points and assists. And we sitting up here talking about whether or not he's overrated or not. What the hell are you people talking about? How does a guy lead the NBA in points and assists, and the NBA still doesn't want to get this dude the fucking credit? Let's just call a spade a spade. They want to make sure that the great white hope, and I'ma just come out and say it because a lot of you are thinking it, but you too fucking chicken shit to come out and say it. They want the great white hope, Luka Doncic, to win a championship so he can say, see, we was right. He's the Luka, he's the legend. Luka legend is the absolute greatest. And Trae Young isn't. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's the truth. This the type of shit that we talking about with the NBA. These things are right in front of us, and we really just don't want to admit the facts. And we always talk about facts, stats, and the truth here. But let's come on, like I said, let's be real. Let's be real, bro. This man has done absolutely nothing. We're talking about nothing to I guess deserve the credit, the hate that he's getting. He goes in, he kills New York, he puts New York out. For the last couple of years, the Atlanta Hawks have been the reason why the New York Knicks have not been in the playoffs. Solely all on the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young becomes one of the best young stars this league has ever seen, and we're sitting up here talking about whether or not Trae Young is overrated. How the hell is one player, okay, how lead the league in points and assists, one of the best point guards in the league. In my opinion, he's the best, but that's arguable. Whether it's CP or Trae Young, I mean, again, that's arguable. You can debate whether or not he is or isn't. But the fact of the matter is, like, let's keep it real. How the hell are you going to continue to do nothing but win? You come up with rules that, in a lot of our minds, were the reason why guys like James Harden was even good to be great to begin with. Jumping into guys, baiting people into fouls, and then here goes Trae. He's doing the exact same thing, and you want to take away the next year when Trae Young is one of the guys who perfected the. Trae Young perfected the move that you guys allowed guys like James Harden to get away with year after year. And all of a sudden, Trae started doing the same thing. Y'all want to change the rules. So guess what Trae does? All right, y'all want to change the rules? Guess what? I'll work on my mid-range jump shot. He does that. Becomes a much more efficient three-point shooter and becomes a much more aggressive mid-range jump shooter and a better mid-range jump shooter and excuse me, I'm trying to read, but it becomes a much more efficient three-point shooter, but a much more aggressive driver to the hole, penetrate. The mid-range jump shot, the floater, Trae perfected his game. So every time they throw something at him, this young man learns to adapt. But we still try to do things like with this game in Miami. These guys are literally bullying these people. So you go from the first game where the Atlanta Hawks literally got their ass kicked. The Hawks literally got their ass kicked. So the Hawks adjust in game 2. They come out in game 2. All of a sudden, Miami, the refs, they calling everything. They went from not calling a damn thing in the first game to calling every foul on the Hawks. And the reason why I'm upset and I'm pissed off about this is because why is it that you want to change when the Hawks make the adjustment? You want to change the rules, NBA. You want to change the rules because that's, again, the great white hope and Luka Doncic is the person that you want to promote. You don't like Atlanta, just keep it real. Nobody cares about Georgia. Nobody cares about Atlanta. The Hawks, we got the Braves and the Georgia Bulldogs who got 2 championships in a year. Okay? Yeah. Within a year. And nobody wants to talk about us being champions. Nobody gives a fuck about what the Braves and what the Bulldogs have done. It's like it's an afterthought now. Nobody gives a fuck. But you still want to push the narrative that, guess what? LeBron is the greatest. Golden State is still Golden State. But you got a young team like Atlanta who are down to Clint Capella. The young guys are, you know what I'm saying, they're doing their thing. They right back in the playoffs when odds were against them from the beginning with a lot of injuries. You had John Collins. John Collins wasn't even, healthy for most of the season. And then you got Miami. Like I said, Miami is straight up bullying these guys. Why is it that Miami can bully and the Hawks can't do it? This is stuff that we talking about. These are the things we talking about when we talking about consistency, bro. What's good, Melvin? I'm sorry. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing today? Sean, it's not Luka's fault, y'all, the AFC. Sean, suck a dick, okay? Just suck a dick. This the stuff we talking about. Just suck it. Just suck it, all right? This the stuff. Nobody said it's Luka's fault we was in the AFC. Learn how to listen, my friend, okay? Learn how to listen. When I'm talking about, let me make this clear because obviously you are not comprehending the context of this video and this rant. The context of this video is there a clear bias. Luka, all right, for one, from the very beginning, they wanted to promote Luka. They've done everything possible to make sure that Trae Young isn't that guy. Again, we talking about they changed the rules when Trae Young was one of the people that benefited from the rule. Jumping into the defender, invading their space. Now they want to call that a foul, an offensive foul, or they don't want to call it. But when you look at the Nets, James Harden's still doing the exact same move. He gets away with it. James Harden gets away with it. Luka Doncic, these guys get away with that type of stuff. But you're deliberately designing rules that go against a guy like Trae Young. There's a clear bias. When you look at the refs, when you look at how they officiate the Hawks, there's a clear and obvious bias. When you talk about guys like Stephen A., when you just mention the name of Trae Young, they immediately say, oh, please, he sucks. He's overrated. All he does is shoot. What's the difference between Kobe Bryant, Trae Young, Michael Jordan, Trae Young, James Harden, Trae Young? All of them are volume shooters. Kobe Bryant is one of, we're talking about when Kobe Bryant first got in the league, all Kobe did was quote unquote will. And if you're a basketball player, you know what willing is. So if you don't know what willing is, this is a term that we used back in the day. As a guy that did not want to pass the ball. He shoots every shot. Okay, so that's what a willie is. So what's the difference between a guy like Trae Young, who is a volume shooter and he makes most of his shots, versus a guy like Kobe Bryant, Russell Westbrook? You even got guys right now in Memphis, Ja Morant, another volume shooter. He gets the respect, but when Trae does the exact same thing and better, scores more points and assists. Do you know many guys in the league besides LeBron James who can lead the league in scoring and assists? What are we talking about? There's a clear bias when we talk about Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks, and how the refs call the game versus others. So excuse me, Sean, for what I said, but let's keep it on subject. It had nothing to do with, oh yeah, it's clear. Yeah, it's clear. Yeah, that's clear that you obviously are a Heat fan. You're probably from Atlanta too. Probably ain't been nowhere near, but yeah, that's my assumption. But yeah, this is stuff we talking about. Y'all scared shitless of Trae Young. Guy can put up 25 points, 10 assists, and he still gets the blunt of the blame. And yeah, Sean, that's a great point. Luka has not won one playoff series. Trae Young is literally a couple of games, are literally one injury away. And again, I don't know what the hell the ref was even doing on the court. Come on, come on, bro. What the hell is a ref doing on the court where Trae can get hurt? Why are you that close? Your job as a sideline referee is to look at the line, the three-point line of the guy who got the ball. Why are you even looking in down low? That's not your job. To follow the ball. You're supposed to follow whoever's at the it. And then somehow Trae, it was an accident. Trae, sprains his ankle. He's a sprained ankle away from even winning that game. And that's the only reason why, the Bucks even won that series. That just keep it 100. If Trae Young win that, the Hawks, if Trae Young doesn't get hurt, the Bucks lose to the Hawks. But since it's not Kobe, since it's not since it's not Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, nobody cares. The league should be more fair when it comes down to smaller market teams. And Red Bees, Atlanta's not even a small market team. This is a huge market. It's just they want New York, they want LA, and they want the Texas markets. There are bigger markets right now at the moment, but when you talk about Georgia and Atlanta, the market for Georgia, just in entertainment in its entirety, the market is going up. A lot of people from Shaq. A lot of these people stay here in Atlanta. People stay in Georgia. So to say that Georgia isn't a big market, that's not true at all. But for the most part, yeah, the league should show more respect to the quote-unquote small and mid-market team. It shouldn't matter what the hell, how much money. Are you good? Are you good enough? That's it. Why the hell should we care about where the fucking market is? Who's spending money? Is the team good? Is the team great? That's what it should matter most. Man, come on. I don't even want to get in. Excuse me. I had to go on my walk, but excuse me for the sirens. But come on, man. DeAndre, it was a coincidence in the second game. DeAndre Hunter was absolutely on fire, and then all of a sudden he gets 3 fouls on some ticky-tack shit. Get a check that when the dude literally, and I'm talking about Kyle Lowry, the dude literally chased the man down to his bench and didn't get one technical foul. He didn't get kicked out of the game. He got the tick for obviously doing what he did to DeAndre Hunter, and those guys getting in the argument and they get both a technical foul. But the dude literally chased the man to their sideline and he didn't get kicked out of the game. This is what we talking about when we talk about bias. Why they do that at? Well, you in the NBA, you can literally go to another team's bench, cuss them out, wanting to fight, and not get kicked out. But Trae Young says one thing is fucking bullshit. Referring to the ref's call. Oh, y'all ready to give Trae a tech for that? But this man literally hunted DeAndre Hunter down, trying to fight him, and he stays in the game. This is the stuff we talking about, bro. That's the stuff we talking about. When we talk about the obvious bias when it comes down to the NBA. All I want for the NBA is to be fair. It was horrible referee. Horrible. Trade damn, look, Red, but the man gets shot, knocked down, tripped up, hacked almost every possession. He's getting smacked every possession. And somehow the Hawks can't get one foul. Somehow all 40, damn near everybody who played the three position for the Hawks were all in foul trouble. Every last one of them. Yeah. Almost every last one of those guys were in foul trouble. And Hawks and Trae can't get a call. But again, this is stuff we talking about the bias, bro. There's a clear agenda against Trae Young. What's good, Yasuke Knight? There's a clear agenda, and like I said, I don't care if the Hawks win. I want to see fair basketball. I don't want to see guys being able to literally hook guys, grab each other, grab the man by the arm. You see it. He's standing right in front of you. He hooks the guy, and the refs do absolutely nothing. And I'm talking about Kyle Lowry. If you saw the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. On top of that, this guy, DeAndre Hunter, is minding his own damn business on the offensive side of the ball. Kyle Lowry proceeds to run in the back, shove DeAndre Hunter, and guess what? Yeah, no foul. The refs do nothing. This is stuff we talking about bias. I just want to see it be fair. There's a clear and obvious bias that the NBA have not forgiven the Hawks for putting out the Knicks. The Knicks are absolutely number one. We talk about the mecca of basketball as it pertains to the NBA. Is LA, is New York. You can throw Chicago in there, depending on if they got good players, but you throw Chicago in there. But this is the mecca of basketball, and the NBA is going to make a ton of money if the Knicks and the Lakers are good. They would love to have those guys and the finals together. But Trae Young spoiled that 2 years in a row. This is stuff we talking about, the obvious bias. The young Kings aren't going to get into that DeAndre Hunter fire where he was clearly going for the ball when he got tied up with Kyle was a bull crap. Like, this is stuff we talking about, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's about, being fair when it comes down to just being honest. As a basketball fan, I want to ask you guys a question. Whether or not the Atlanta Falcons or your Atlanta Hawks. Hey, man, I'm a Falcon by heart. You see, I do so much damn Falcon stuff, I can't. But if you're a basketball fan, let's just keep it real, 100. All right, this is a question for everybody. Let's keep it real. Don't do this shit because you like me or whatever. Answer, if you saw that game, the game 2 of the Atlanta Hawks and Miami Heat, can you say with a straight face that those refs weren't on, another tip? That they called the game straight down the middle and fairly. Let's keep it real. Like I said, your honest opinion. Did the refs, and has nothing to do with whether or not this player didn't play well or whatever. Did the refs call the game fairly? That's the question I have for y'all right now. Josh Gay has a lot of favoritism in the NBA when it comes down to Trae Young. I almost turned the game off after the foul. Actually, I did turn the game off. One thing I hate, I gotta calm down when it comes down to the NBA. NBA is actually one of my favorite sports. I grew up really playing baseball and basketball first, but later I got into football. But yeah, baseball and basketball is where I started. I actually am a better basketball player than I am football player. So basketball is my brother played it. Both my brothers played it. So I know my basketball. But that's the stuff we talking about. Do they have any types of players union that Trae can join to have a voice on the obvious problems of refs being biased? To be honest, man, I don't think it'll work anyway. The refs are just always going to. The thing is that when we talk about, and Devontae kind of brought this up, if you guys know Devontae, aka Cookie by Nature, you can check him out on. GSHM, Feli Sports Podcast. Check him out on Twitter. But this is something that came out. Tim Donaghy, an NBA official, he came out and he spoke against it. When you see stuff like this, an obvious bias, when you see a team with 35 free throws and the other team has like 14, that's an obvious sign that the NBA has been fixed. But, a lot of people, and this is the guy that, was fired and the NBA tried to get rid of him. And then, he came, he admitted to fixing NBA games. He admitted to fixing NBA games, and, he gave a description of how he actually did it. And this type of game against the Atlanta Hawks and Miami Heat is exactly one how he described it. So as a basketball fan, me personally, this is one of the reasons why I can't watch it. I turned the game off. Not because I'm, not a loyal Hawks fan. I watch every Atlanta Hawks game. Atlanta Falcons game, Georgia Bulldogs. I never miss a game. But it's hard to watch when the refs are literally fixing these games. You can see it. You can't tell me that, a guy doing the exact same thing, you call fouls on the other team, they're doing the exact same thing, and you're not calling for one team. It's supposed to be judged fairly. Don't tell me it's a foul on Jimmy Butler, but the same exact thing, you slapping and smacking Trae. It's a foul on Jimmy Butler, but it's not a foul on Trae. The same thing, smacking, just hitting him. The Hawks barely touching Jimmy Butler, but he getting fouled. He going to the free throw line 15 times. The Hawks didn't even have 15 total free throws to begin with, and Jimmy Butler got more free throws by himself than the whole Hawks team. This is stuff we talking about. I turned it off. And I went to Twitter I still follow the game, watching the little highlights on Twitter. But it was just absolutely disgusting. I had to cool the fuck down and come back to the game. But I did turn it off. It's frustrating when you see a NBA with, again, clear and obvious bias. There's no reason why a team should have 35 free throws and the other team have 14. When Trae Young is obviously going to the hole every chance he get, the Hawks are going to the hole every time they get. They get smacked, no call. You go to the line, you barely touch Jimmy Butler, and he goes to the line. And again, he had 15. We're talking about Jimmy Butler, who had 15 free throws for himself. Had an excellent game, excellent defender, excellent player. Not dissing him at all. Jimmy Butler's a hell of a player. But we're talking about the bias. We gotta have it that same energy on both sides of the court. Not for just one team. You gotta call it like it is. Shaq and Kobe once said in the interview that there's no way in hell it wasn't their fault that the refs were obviously fixing that game against the Sacramento Kings, where they damn near had everybody fouled out. Shaq said, yeah, it was some bullshit, but hey, that ain't our fault. Get mad at the refs. And this is stuff we talking about. They've been doing this shit for a long time. And to be honest, the only way you're gonna get the, best from them is to just stop watching. I don't even watch. Again, the only thing I watch is the Hawks. I do not support the NBA outside of the Hawks. If it wasn't for the Hawks, I would not even watch the NBA, because there's an obvious bias when it comes down to these games. It's absolutely disgusting to see the refereeing in this game. Anytime you see one player have more free throws than one team, okay, let me repeat that. Anytime you see one player have more free throws than one team, the officiating is shaky at best. This is the stuff we talking about. How the hell did one player have more free throws than the entire team? Again, the bias. And Bean Bambino, Trae Young needs to play defense. This is the shit I really want to address right here. So excuse me, put your kids away, run and hide, tuck your ears, put a plug in your ears, turn it on, put it on mute right now. Because I'm about to go the fuck off. This is literally one of the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. This is fucking retarded. Why? We don't ask Magic Johnson to be a rebounder, do we? Magic Johnson is who the fuck he is. One of the greatest point guards in the history of the game. One of the greatest assistants and passers. We don't ask him to be Dennis Rodman. Say, hey, Magic, I need you to go down and play defense. I need you to rebound. Do you? No, you ask Magic Johnson to be the fucking point guard that he is. We don't ask Steph Curry to be a fucking point guard. No, you ask Steph to shoot that motherfucker. Right? You don't ask LeBron to go down and be on the low post. Don't be the point guard. Don't be the guy that set up everybody else, LeBron. You don't ask LeBron to do that, to go and be the center. No, you ask LeBron to do LeBron things. You don't ask Clint Capella to shoot threes and be the point guard, do you? No, you ask Clint Capella to catch those lobs, rebound, and play defense. Block shots. That's what the fuck you do. So anytime I hear people say Trae Young needs to play defense, it's literally the dumbest shit ever, because he's never going to be a good defensive player. He never was. That's not how he got in the NBA, is playing defense. You don't ask players whose expertise isn't to play defense, to play defense. That's why you got guys like Delon Wright. That's why you got guys like who? Clint Capella. Those guys are supposed to be your defenders. So when it comes down to it, do I want Trae Young to be a better defender? Would I like Trae Young to be a better defender? Of course. But chances are, you can't change the Tiger stripe. You can't change LeBron into something he's not. You can't tell LeBron to be a better three-point shooter because he's never going to be a great three-point shooter. He's going to be okay, but he's never going to be a great three-point shooter. That's not his game. So anytime I hear people say the stupidest shit ever, oh, Trae Young needs to be he needs to play defense. Motherfucker, he's the leading scorer in the damn league. He's the leading assistant in the whole league. What are we talking about? Y'all want people to do stuff that they're never going to be able to do well. I'm never going to be 500 pounds, God forbid, but damn. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat 5,000 hamburgers and shit. I'm like, come on, bro. I'm never going to be 7 feet tall. I'm never going to be 700 pounds. I'm never going to be Shaquille O'Neal. Ever. So why the hell do you want Trae Young to play better defense? No, what you do is bring other people in to play defense. That's what you do. That's the reason why you got DeLon. That's why you got DeLon right to come in and be the defender. So when I hear people say that all the time, oh, you need to play defense. Oh, whatever. No. Trae need to continue to do what he do. Everybody else play defense. I see this all the time. Come on, bro. You know damn well. y'all know dang on well Trae is not gonna be no damn defensive star. Come on. He'll be okay, but that man ain't never gonna be no first team all defense. Come on, bro. Let's keep it real. Trae's 5'11", 6 feet tall, 165 pounds. Who the hell he gonna stop? Trae Young has actually been putting in effort. Of course. That's all I ask for. Effort. He's been putting in effort, but he still is going to be chances are he's going to be a bottom defender. Is he okay at times? Yeah, he's okay. When we talk about we want him to play defense, that's just crazy. That's not what he's going to be. Trae Young is never going to be a great defensive player. Over time, he'll pick up some tricks defensively. But when you ask Trae to, come on, bro, stop. Y'all act like that. Red Bees, the old superstars rarely mention it, but they know refs are biased. Come on, man. I've heard, this is where I got to call out Shaq and Chuck. I've seen them say, oh, that's a horrible call. In Chuck's case, terrible call, terrible call by the refs. And then when you see this Hawks game against the Heat, y'all don't want to call out the refs. Come on, bro. This wasn't a foul. How many times have we heard during the broadcast that Chuck said, oh, that's a terrible call. Oh, that's a terrible call, ref. This lead is too soft. Chuck say that every time, but in this game against the Heat, nobody wanted to mention the fact that the refs was terrible. Shaq included. His ass ain't off the hook either. Y'all don't want to call out the Hawks. Y'all do not want to call out the refs when it comes down to the Hawks. I wonder why. A lot of these former NBA players, they scared to call out the NBA because they don't want to mess up their gig. So let's just call a spade a spade. You know, Like I said, that's my main issue. That's my main issue is that we got to keep that same energy. Black Chip Skylark, who hates Trae Young? And boy, this video is weird. You gotta be you. I know you don't watch basketball if you say something like that. I know you don't watch basketball if you say who hates Trae Young. Come on, bro. But come on, stop. There's a lot of people that they literally have a chant in every gym that he goes. Every time any team play Trae, it's always quote unquote fuck Trae Young, fuck Trae Young, fuck Trae Young, fuck Trae Young. Am I making this up, people? Again, this ain't even. I'm not even asking this for Hawks fans. I'm not asking NBA fans. There's literally a chant says fuck Trae Young. But you asking who hates Trae Young? Come on, man. And now there is a lot of, standing around and watching Trae. Of course, like I said, I'm dang sure not taking these guys off the hook because again, outside of Danilo Gallinari, there really hasn't been a lot of consistency from the Hawks offense, and that's the issue. When you paying Herter $60-something million, Bogey about $80 million, and then you got DeAndre Hunter, John Collins who making $100 million plus. Why is there an issue? And now I'm gonna tell you, I've been critical of John Collins, but he's been injured, so I give him the benefit of the doubt. But everybody else, yeah, we've had injury issues, but come on, bro. Somebody, one of those people, one of you guys have to step up and give you at least 20 points. There's been games where all four of those guys have under 10 points. And you paying these guys over $200 million collectively. It's a problem. There's a major problem with that. Like I said, that's a major problem with that. I'm not asking for first team defense, but Larry, man, shut up, okay? Stop. Shut up. Just shut up, Bambino. Just shut up. Okay? Stop. You're being foolish now. Okay? This man is leading the NBA in scoring and assists. Stop. Okay? What more does this dude got to do? He's leading let me repeat this, okay? So, because maybe you guys just don't understand what comes with leading the league in scoring and assists. Okay? Because I don't understand why you don't understand what we understand. He led the entire league. That's better than LeBron, Ja Morant, all these guys. And he missed games. So he missed games and still led the league in points and scoring, and we still up here nitpicking defense. Just foolish. This is the stuff we talking about in football. Matt Ryan could put up 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and less than 10 interceptions, and we sitting up here worried about whether or not he can run fast. What about everybody else? Why Kevin Herter ain't doing his job? Why DeAndre Hunter ain't doing his job? That's why you got a bench. That's why you got other players. So if Trae can't play defense, there's 5 people on the court, 12 people on the bench, 15, 12 people. Got a rotation of guys with different skill sets. But we up here worried about whether or not Trae Young need to play defense. This man is literally lead the whole league in points and assists, and we up here nitpicking about defense. Come on, bro, stop. Trae pissed off the major markets, Philadelphia, New York fan bases last season, and he did it so cocky. Yeah. Trae put up 50 spot on your ass and then way by. This man literally getting spit on, and we up here talking about whether or not people hate Trae Young. Come on, boy, stop. I've never seen one time, again, I've never heard one time where Michael Jordan was spit on. I never heard one time that Kobe Bryant was spit on. Never one time have I heard that guys like Karl Malone was spit on, Shaquille O'Neal was spit on. And I could be wrong, it maybe happened, but I've never heard a player being spat on by fans. But we up here talking about whether or not they hate this guy. These guys are literally throwing stuff at this man at the next game, spitting on him, doing all this type of stuff. But we up here talking about whether or not Trae Young is hurt. Is come on, bro, like stop. Now I'm a huge fan of Pat Riley, but I'm right there with you. There ain't no way in hell that the NBA is gonna allow Pat Riley to just get his team to be going in the first round. I don't see it happening. I think letting Reddish go was a mistake. He can get his own bucket. Lou not playing. Well, I don't think that was a mistake. Cam Reddish can't stay healthy, so he's no good to anybody at this point. So it really wasn't a mistake. I don't. Does he have potential? And I'm a Duke fan. He has potential. I know what he can do, but he can't stay healthy. I need you to be on the court. I need you to not be cocky. The Hawks actually started playing better when they got rid of Cam Reddish. So, I love Cam Reddish to death, but nah, he's not a very good player at this moment. He's a cocky, arrogant player that can't stay healthy. Gotta stay healthy, man. But at the end of the day, this is the truth. The Hawks have a lot of improving to do. They're talking about from Hunter, from John Collins, Kevin Huerter. I think he needs to get better and more consistent. I think he has a great game, but he has to work on his consistency. The Hawks really just got, outside of Trae Young, those guys got to catch up. That's what it comes down to the Hawks. Clint Capella is one hell of a player, and we're seeing right now the impact of his loss defensively. The Hawks just can't do anything defensively right now. A lot of their defensive rotation, these guys are counting on a guy like Clint Capella to be in the middle of the defense, and he's not there. So it just messes up the defensive rotations. You expect a guy to be there who isn't there, and I think that's one of the things that are, bothering the Hawks right now. They just don't have that big man in Clint Capella, and that's the reason why the Hawks gave him $50 million. I think it was $60 million to do that, to be the center of, that Hawks defense. He's a hell of a player. He's a great player, and he deserves every dime that he gets. We see why now. The dude is a hell of a player. The dude can give you 10 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 block shots damn near every game when he's on. Clint Capella is that dude, and the most disrespected defensive guys in the league. Why? Because he's a Hawk. Let's keep it real. So again, man, when I do these lives, bro, anything and everything can come out of my mouth. Y'all should know that. But at the end of the day, the truth of the matter, the Hawks got a long way to go. They're not a championship team right now. Said it even last year when they made the run against the Bucks. They were not supposed to be there. The Hawks are not ready. They're still too young. They still need a guy next to Trae that's going to help them get to the next level. And the way that Travis Slinick is saying, a lot of these guys might be on the market to be traded. So do not get used to seeing a few faces here. They're going to make sure that Trae gets that guy standing next to him that could be consistent. I promise you that. The Hawks going to do that. So at the end of the day, like I said, I appreciate everybody for joining. Had to do a little bit differently. Didn't want to go too long on the show, but like I said, I appreciate everybody for joining. But I'm out of this mode, man. Peace. We're gonna do a little bit. Hey, if y'all like some Hawk stuff, some Brave stuff, whatever, man, holler at me. We will run it around this mug. If you guys are into Hawks content, if you feel the need, if you feel like you have what it takes to be, a Hawk content creator, we got a spot for you here. GSHM is looking for Hawks. We're looking for Braves. We're looking for Atlanta United. We're looking for all that. If you want to be a content creator for GSHM, all right, come holler at me. We'll train you, get you up to speed. If you're not up to speed, hit up Devontae, aka Cookie by Nature, TJ, aka Call on Tyrone. Hit either one of us up on social media. You can hit us up on Twitter. Twitter will probably be the best way to hit us up. Hit us up on Twitter, IG, Facebook. But hit us up, man. We always looking for more content creators. All right? So you don't have to be Atlanta Falcons content creator if you're not into the Hawks. We have a spot for you. Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Tech, Georgia State. Like, we're looking for all of that. We're looking for anything. If you representing that Atlanta, you representing whatever your college team is, come holler at us. That being said, I appreciate it for joining us. That's all I got to say about that. And I'm out. Peace.